So today we're going to be replacing the valve cover gasket in my $400 E46. This is a 328i, so it has an M52B28. It will be very similar for, well, it'll be identical for other M52 models like a 323, but it'll also be very similar for if you have an M54, B25 or B30. It'll look very similar, so the procedure is just about the same. There's three things that you need for this job: tools, RTV, and your new valve cover gasket. Now, one thing you want to make sure of when you buy your new valve cover gasket, that you get a set of the valve cover sealing washers, these little grommets that mount up around all the hardware that you'll be using. If you don't have those, you will want to replace those because that is also a potential source of leaks. Now, this is what my engine bay looks like. Regardless of what E46 model you have, yours will look very similar. There are a few things that are already disassembled in here. When I first bought this car, it was more disassembled than this. So I will attempt to talk you through the missing parts that I'm missing. But we can go ahead and get started with our first step, which is removing the beauty cover and all the plastics around the engine bay to give us space to do our job. So your first step is going to be removing your air filter assembly and everything up here. The first step in doing that, these cables will be running through here, and there's little tabs, little plastic tabs on each one of these little clips that holds those in place. I don't have that, so you'll undo that, pull that off, then you'll undo your filter here, pull all that out. There are 4 T8 screws up in here that you'll have to remove to pull out this cowling here. So at this point, you will now remove the beauty cover that runs along here. You can see where those 2 bolts are that you would take out, and then you just lift that beauty cover off. I don't have that, so I don't have to worry about that. And then next is this beauty cover right here, so we'll get going on that. And most everything you're going to be dealing with in here is either a 10 or an 8mm. Take off your oil filler cap, and you can just lift this straight off. I always reinstall the filler cap just so it doesn't get lost, and it helps keep a little bit extra crap out of your engine. So next thing we're going to do is remove all the coils. Now, it's a good practice to number all your coils to make sure each one goes back to the same cylinder. I'm not really worried about that in this car, so I'm not going to do all that. Now, if you're having to do this job, it's highly likely that you already have oil leaks down into your spark plug wells. If that's the case, you're going to want to clean the oil off of your coils to prevent misfires and potentially to correct an existing misfire if you're experiencing that. So clean the oil off the coils and out of the wells. So next thing that has to come out is there are 3 separate ground straps. They will all come out with an 8mm socket. So the foremost and aftmost ground straps look like this, and then the one in the middle is just a wire that routes into the harness for your coils. So the next thing we're going to do is unmount that harness that routes to all the coils. There's, I believe, 2 clips, we're going to find out shortly, that you have to unclip to pull out this whole shroud and everything. So I'm going to try to get a good angle on that to show what I'm doing. So there's just this little tab. If you use a flathead, you can separate this housing from your valve cover. The tab is built into the valve cover. So there's also clips on the opposing side too that you'll need to pop. They all look about the same, so once you see them you can find them for yourself. And now there are just 2 more in the back. And you can fish all this out of here and just set it out of your way. One final thing to make sure you pull is this vacuum hose to your crankcase ventilation system. All you do to pull that is pinch top and bottom and gently work it off. Now these are probably going to be very fragile and you probably should replace it, but just be careful with it. You might not have to. Okay, so the last thing we have to fish off of the valve cover itself before we can pull the valve cover are these 2 little sensors. I think they're O2 sensors. I don't remember, it doesn't really matter, but they gotta just pop off of there. And you gotta fish these wires out of this clip too. Make sure you do all that. Everything's gotta clear the valve cover so we can pull it. And those snake all the way around to the back. So once you've got all of that separated from the valve cover, we're ready to pull the valve cover itself. So there are 10 of these special nuts. They are not actually bolts. They are nuts that thread onto studs that come out of the head. So we'll go ahead and start pulling those front to back. It shouldn't take much to take these off. They're only supposed to be torqued to 6 foot-pounds. I mean, it depends on who was working on your car before you, but they should pop right off of there, no problem. Now, if your valve cover gasket is older, it's likely that a lot of your grommets are going to stick. That's fine as long as they don't come off into your engine bay. Just make sure you don't lose track of those after you pull off your nut. So now at this stage you should be ready to pull your valve cover off. Your valve cover gasket will likely want to stick to your cylinder head. It's not a big deal, we can work it off afterwards. Just be gentle, be careful not to score the mating surface. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that and just work it gently with a flathead to try to pry it off of there. So you're going to want to try to pop it from an area where you're not jamming your screwdriver into the mating surface. There are different points where you can pry it without doing that, and I highly encourage you to do that where you can. Lucky for me, this seems to want to come off pretty easily. It might not be that old, even though it is leaking an enormous amount of oil, but just kind of work it off of there and peel it on out. Voila! Now you're going to want to do the best you can to keep dirt and crap out of your engine now that it is wide open to the elements, and also try to keep some crap out of your valve cover. I'm going to go ahead and throw my valve cover in a trash bag just for the time being, and we will continue from there. Okay, so lucky for me, none of the gaskets stayed in the engine here. The only thing you're going to need to do on this side of things is remove the little bit of RTV, either from your factory assembly or after the last time the job was done. You can see some of that gasket maker along these half moons here and along these seams where your upper timing cover bolts up to the engine, and then there's also these 2 half moons in the back. So you'll clean all the RTV around there and just clean up your mating surface a little bit to make sure everything seals so you don't have to go back and do the job again in like 2 months time. So I'm using a razor blade to clean this up. You can use a putty knife, whatever you want, just as long as you're making sure you're not scoring the surface here. And don't forget to clean these mating surfaces too while you're in here. Alright, so now it's just a matter of peeling off all of your old gaskets off of your valve cover. You're going to want to be careful with these plastic valve covers, peeling these off, because you can split the plastic. It's very thin along the inside wall here. This is probably the worst valve cover gasket I've ever seen. It is just so brittle. It's all cracked up already. It is, look at that, that is horrendous. This thing was leaking about a quart of oil every 1,000 miles or something like that. So yeah, this is pretty bad. That's going straight in the trash. It just feels like hard plastic. That is not rubber anymore. So you're gonna wanna be careful to pull straight up. You don't wanna twist it back and forth while you pull it, just straight up and out. Yeah, that's pretty bad. There is no pliability left in that. That is the worst valve cover gasket ever. And now, just for good measure, I'd recommend cleaning out these channels the gasket rides in, just to increase the likelihood that your new seal will function properly. And now we do have to remember all of those grommets on the other side. Make sure we save all of the washers. We don't want to lose any of those. So now we're ready to lay our new valve cover gasket in place. So now that we're just about ready to mount up our valve cover, we're going to take a moment to sort out all of our hardware that holds that on and get all the new rubber grommets on there and situated. So now all of our hardware is ready to go back into the car. Alright, so last thing we have to do to prepare to put the valve cover back on is apply some RTV. You can either use the black stuff or the red high temperature stuff. I believe the red stuff sets up a little quicker. This you should leave for a couple hours to set, but we're going to go ahead and throw this on. I'll show you the 3 different spots where that gets applied, and then we'll put the valve cover back on. Alright, so the first spot you're going to want to apply this is these 2 half moon shapes up here in the front of the engine in your upper timing cover. So you're just going to get a little dab. It's just, you're going to just apply a little skim across it. It's not really designed to seal everything. It just fills in the little crevices on these strange contours to just make sure everything sets up properly, especially around the corners up here. Any sharp edges is where you're going to want to focus your application. The next spot you're going to want to apply is this seam up here and down here where your upper timing cover meets the head. And then lastly, there's just the 2 half moons in the back of the head. I know you don't really have a good angle on it, but it just looks the same as what's on the front of the engine. Same deal. Alright, now we're ready to thread our valve cover back into place. So you're going to want to be careful to make sure your seals don't come out of place as you do this. You want to make sure both of the half moons, front and rear, don't get twisted or torqued around. You want to make sure they're sitting properly. And you're going to want to make sure you clear all of the hoses and crap that we moved out of the way earlier. So you're going to grab all these and make sure you're up underneath of those rather than on top, and just ease it on down. Make sure we're in place all around. Make sure nothing's catching. Make sure all our seals look good up in here, which they do. Everything feels like it's got it. You might want to poke a mirror or something up in here to check those 2 rear half moons if you can. Fortunately, I can get my fingers up in there to feel them. They feel good. So we're going to go ahead and bolt this thing back into place. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start threading our hardware back into place. So 2 things, we're not tightening anything up yet, and also these nuts that have studs poking out of them, where our ground straps mounted up, you're just going to want to make sure those go back where they came from and not somewhere else. So there are 2 of those nuts with the studs up in the front and then 1 in the very back. So now that we have all those threaded into place, we're going to go ahead and go around and torque them. I don't have a torque wrench that goes low enough. They're all supposed to be torqued to 6 pound-feet. So I'm just going to snug them up pretty much. Do not over torque them. Don't strip out the studs. Then you have a mess on your hands. And I'm going to go around in a sort of star pattern almost to make sure everything sits right. It probably doesn't matter if you run up and down, but this is how I'm going to do it. So from here on, it's just the reverse of what we did earlier. So I'm going to start by clipping all of these back into place, what I believe are oxygen sensors. Going to route all these wires back under this little strap back here. Make sure they run through this little channel in the back here. Going to mount up our ground straps. Going to bring our harness back over into place. Just clip it right back in and make sure it's the right way around. Now mount this ground strap back on. Now we can pop all our coils back into place. Now we're going to plug all of our coils back in. And now we throw our beauty cover back on. This one got run over in between the time it coming off and going back on. It's a long story, don't want to talk about it. We'll find another one at the junkyard. Don't want to forget the little cover. Beautiful. Now at this point you'll go ahead and reinstall your beauty cover back here. I'm just going to go ahead and jump to reinstalling this cowling. And remember, it's 4 T8 screws. Now you can reinstall your cabin air filter. Now you would reroute these wires back up under here, clip them into place, and clip your CCV vacuum hose back on there, and that's all, you're done. So that's all this repair takes. I highly recommend just going ahead and getting it done if you have any signs of an oil leak. Even if it seems like it's lower in your engine, it's likely running down the sides of your engine from your valve cover gasket. Really common problem, but fortunately it's a really easy job to take care of. Anyone can get it done that has even like the most basic mechanical knowledge. So yeah, and if you want to catch any of my future repairs, go ahead and feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.